Every year, millions of tourists flock to Puerto Rico for one main reason: the beaches. Of course, it doesn't hurt that Puerto Rican cuisine is among the best in the world, or that we have the only tropical rainforest under the US flag, or that Old San Juan is the third oldest city in the New World after Santo Domingo de Guzmán and Havana. And of course, it's also the best preserved. All that helps, but God's honest truth is that all those people come for one main reason: the beaches. Sadly, global warming and rising sea levels are slowly chipping away at that wonderful resource. But that's a matter for a different video. Today, we're going to talk about something way more important: your safety. Did you know that over 30 people drown in Puerto Rico every year? Did you know that most of those drownings happen at the beach and that more than half of those casualties are tourists? Don't become a statistic. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the 10 most dangerous beaches in Puerto Rico. Some of them seem innocent enough when you first get there, but believe me, any one of them can be deadly, especially the last one. Drowning is easy. All you have to do is hold your head underwater long enough and it's bound to happen. Hell, you can even drown in a bathtub, I guess. But when it comes to beaches, there are other factors to keep in mind, like doing your homework ahead of time, the type of beach you'll be visiting, and whether or not there are lifeguards around. So who am I exactly to advise you about these things? Well, for starters, I've lived in Puerto Rico since 1963. I've also been a beach lover all my life. But more importantly, I wrote a book about Puerto Rico's beaches. And believe me, I researched the hell out of the matter before I sat down to write. The beaches that I'm going to mention today aren't bad beaches at all. In fact, they're beautiful and wonderful. Most of them are even in my book. But the thing is that they're dangerous. They're also in no particular order, except for the last one. And why did I leave that particular one for last? Well, because it's the most dangerous of the bunch, and chances are that you're staying right next to it. And of course, I want you to stay till the end of the video. Finally, here's a tip that can save your life. There's a banner on the right-hand side of my travel blog when you visit from a computer that reads, "Don't drown." Click on it, please. It'll take you to the National Weather Service website for Puerto Rico. If there's trouble at any beach, you'll find it there before you go. Now let's get started. Number 1. Playa Jobos. Playa Jobos is a popular surfing and swimming beach located in the northwestern town of Isabela. And the funny thing is that it's popular among beginners as well as the more advanced crowd. Playa Jobos is popular among amateur surfers because of the low depth of its waters. Advanced surfers love it too because even with its relatively shallow waters, the waves are quite large. So, if you're the type of person who prefers those pond-like beaches with the 1-inch surf, then Playa Jobos is not the beach for you. Playa Jobos can be tricky too. There are sea currents that pull you towards the ocean, and many people have drowned. So be sure to visit the local surf shops and ask the locals before venturing into the Playa Jobos waters. Number 2. Playa del Tamarindo. The water at Playa del Tamarindo is crystal clear. The sand is bright and fluffy. And the surf is, well, let's just say that it all depends. The day that I shot this video, the surf was flat as a pancake. But that isn't the case all of the time. Technically, Playa del Tamarindo isn't even a beach. It's actually the open sea. So that means that the surf can be quite rough at times. There can also be underwater currents, and the thing that I hate the most is that it gets deep very quickly. So be extra careful. Number 3, Playa Escondida. This beach isn't even included in my book. Why? Because I don't want anything to do with it. And more importantly, I couldn't bear the guilt of sending someone to his death there. That said, Playa Escondida is beautiful. It is. The problem is the rough surf and the rip currents that kill people all the time. In my book, I mentioned 3 kinds of beaches in Puerto Rico: balnearios, wild beaches, and eye candy beaches. Balnearios are government-run beaches that have all the facilities. Wild beaches can be just as good, but they're exactly how God made them. Then you have eye candy beaches. Eye candy is a term that comes from the world of photography. It refers to something that's great to look at. In case you're wondering, all of the beaches in this video fall under the wild beaches category, except for Playa Escondida. So take all the pictures you want, but stay out of the water. Number 4, La Pared. La Pared is located in the town of Luquillo, a sleepy little town on the northeastern coast of Puerto Rico that's famous for its beaches. Most of Luquillo's beaches are actually great, including Balneario La Monserrate, which in my humble opinion is the prettiest beach on the larger island of Puerto Rico. But La Pared is a different story. It's a long beach that runs along a road, or the road runs along the beach, whichever you prefer. And it's separated by a wall. That's actually how it got its name. The surf is almost always rough, and the rip currents are a dime a dozen. I guess you could call it eye candy, except for the fact that it's not pretty either. So regardless of what anyone might tell you, stay away from La Pared. Number 5, Mar Chiquita. In Spanish, the words Mar Chiquita mean little sea, and that's exactly what Mar Chiquita Beach seems like. This oval-shaped cove in the town of Manatí, Puerto Rico, is one of the most beloved spots among locals and visitors. Mar Chiquita is formed by a horseshoe-shaped rock formation that has a very small opening at the center. This allows the water to flow in, but not the raging waves of the Atlantic Ocean. The result is a pond-like area with a 1-inch surf that's ideal for families with small children. However, during certain months of the year, mainly the winter months, when there's greater ocean activity, debris can get trapped inside the cove and cause the water to be turbid. Here's another word of advice. Stay away from the mouth of the cove. The underwater currents will pull you out to sea. It's also dangerous to walk over the sharp rocks, especially near the edge that faces the ocean. While the surf at the shore can be almost inexistent, on the outside of the cove, it's a different story. The North Atlantic Ocean slams against the rocks with all of its might. Number 6, Los Tubos. I met my wife at Los Tubos when we were both young and beautiful. That was back in 1980, and I haven't swam there since. Los Tubos is beautiful. However, there's one thing about Los Tubos to keep in mind. It gets real deep real quick. So much so that many of the locals told us that it's mostly used by scuba divers. The water is crystal clear. The sand is rather coarse and tan-colored. On some days, the surf can get pretty high, too. In fact, Playa Los Tubos is a popular surfing spot because the waves break both to the right and to the left of the beach. On the western end, it's severely eroded, and on the eastern end, the edge is rocky. Number 7, Domes. Domes got its name because it sits right next to what was scheduled to become Puerto Rico's first nuclear power plant back in the 60s. However, call it divine intervention, or whatever you prefer, The plans didn't materialize, and the area is still green and beautiful. Dome's Beach is in the town of Rincon, Puerto Rico, about 78 miles west as the crow flies from San Juan. And if you've ever been in surfer circles, you'll know that Rincon is one of the greatest surfing areas on the island. That said, this is not the beach for you if you're looking for that wonderful 1-inch surf. But Rincon isn't only known for its surfing. This is actually one of the most beautiful places in Puerto Rico, period. The island of Desecheo, almost straight to the west, is home to a wildlife refuge that is close to the public. But about 12 miles away from Desecheo is one of the greatest scuba diving spots in Puerto Rico. Riptides and undercurrents abound. Number 8. La Guardaraya. If you like pebble beaches, you can't do much better than at Guardaraya Beach in the southern town of Patillas, Puerto Rico. In fact, most, if not all of the beaches in Patillas are pebble beaches. That means that if you're looking for that powdery white sand that'll slip through your toes, you're not going to find it. Instead, you'll find rocky terrain with 1 to 2 inch pebbles outside and inside the water. If you would like to protect your feet from the rocky surface, one way to do it is by bringing boat slippers. They're like underwater sneakers. My wife and I also met a couple of locals who told us several interesting facts about this beach. First of all, they didn't call it La Guardaraya. They called it Las Tres Positas, the 3 ponds, because there are 3 underwater ponds that form along the coastline. Furthermore, if you look carefully about 200 feet out, you'll see the water breaking in a straight line parallel to the shore. That's because there's a reef there. There's also an underwater cave system that runs parallel to the shore. This makes for abundant rip currents and occasional drownings. I suppose scuba divers must love a place like that, but I wouldn't go anywhere near it. Number 9. Punta Borinquen. Punta Borinquen Beach is not for swimming. In fact, the only sign at this beach was to warn visitors about the high surf, riptides, and underwater currents. The beach also has a severe erosion problem, and the surf is commensurate with the sign at the entrance. This beach is inside what used to be the Ramey Field U.S. Air Force Base. Today, the government of Puerto Rico operates the Rafael Hernandez International Airport there. The airport is presently being improved and has one of the longest landing strips in the Caribbean. So why is this beach so dangerous? Just take a look at the map, and you'll see that this is the North Atlantic Ocean. There are no reefs to hold back the waves. That also accounts for the riptides and underwater currents. There are 2 beaches separated by a parking lot. Both of them are dangerous and have severe erosion problems. Number 10. Condado Beach. This brings me to the reigning champion of dangerous beaches in Puerto Rico. And yet, it looks so innocent. It's right in the heart of the Condado area, where thousands of tourists stay every year. El Condado is the part of San Juan that's home to the hotel district. Most of the best hotels face the Atlantic Ocean, and therefore, most of them have beautiful beaches. However, these beaches can be dangerous because the surf is often quite high and there can be underwater currents and riptides. The sand is a beautiful light tan color, almost white, and the hotels provide all amenities for their particular guests. This includes shade and a safe swimming area. One thing you'll notice is that this beach has hardly any trees or vegetation of any kind. Hence, any shade will have to come in the form of beach umbrellas provided by the hotels. Similarly, many hotels have built breakwaters that form small, safe areas for their guests to swim in. And of course, every hotel has a private pool. All this taken into account, people drown here every year because they swim too far away from the shore and they're trapped by underwater currents and riptides. So there you have it. 10 beautiful beaches in Puerto Rico to stay out of. Notice that I didn't say stay away because they make for great eye candy. But stay out of them and live to swim another day. Finally, don't forget to pick up my book, Puerto Rico Beach by Beach. It covers 53 of Puerto Rico's most beautiful beaches, including exclusive online video of each one and the GPS coordinates so you'll get there on a dime. See you next time.